If I just don't give this a go and use this opportunity to explore this, I'll never
You
forgive
never
myself.
do it, yeah. Hello everybody, welcome to Happy Souls. So we've got some really beautiful interviews coming up, and I just wanted to say so much gratitude to everyone for all the beautiful views and watching all the videos we've done so far. So if you really love them, click subscribe and like them, and we'll get to bring you more and more and more. So today we have a beautiful lady called Nat, and Nat Warner is from Greene Street Juice, and she's just a gorgeous, gorgeous soul. She's been so inspirational in my journey. I've stalked her on Instagram for many, many years, and I just absolutely adore her. So I want to welcome the beautiful Nat. Nat, come on in. I love you.
Love you.
Thank you. Can we just look at this place that you have created? It's
Thank you.
You drive past on High Street and it stands out from a mile. It is just gorgeous.
Thank you.
Where did all the inspiration for everything come from?
It was incredibly fate driven. So in here we call this our little slice of Manhattan in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Because that's where our journey began. So yeah, we literally bottled up our time living on Greene Street in New York. Brought it home to Melbourne with us.
Start from the beginning. I just adore you. You are this happy soul, beautiful person that is always smiling. I've never seen you not smiling. It's just gorgeous. I want to know all about you. Tell us, start from the beginning.
Oh, thank you. So not a very traditional journey, I think, to becoming an organic cold pressed juice maker. I started my career as a lawyer.
Wow.
And I worked as a lawyer for about 10 years. And I was in employment law, and I always worked for big corporates. And then I also worked for a top-tier law firm that worked with a lot of big corporates as well.
Wow.
So a lot of people look at me now and only know me from this life.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine you as a lawyer.
I can't either. Dressed in a suit, going to your 9 to 5 job.
Every day.
I cannot imagine that with you.
Suit, client meetings, being
Were
very...
you still always smiling?
I think so.
Okay,
definitely.
good. That's a good sign.
Yeah, I was
That's
probably
a good
very
sign.
smiley lawyer. But definitely in that environment, I wasn't able to really be my true self.
Yeah.
In terms of, I always worked with, I worked in roles which were always quite senior for my age, and surrounded by people who maybe had been, working on their careers for longer, and you would always try to adjust yourself to fit in with them.
Yeah.
And always sort of doing that whole lawyer voice. So, my clients will only think that I know what I'm talking about if I speak in a bit more serious tone or monotone. Everything's very serious.
Very, very serious.
Yes, exactly. So I was definitely always smiling, but I probably, I wasn't able to be as really.
It wasn't the true
true self.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so our journey, my journey from lawyer to cold pressed organic juice maker was...
Because it's so different. That's other ends of the spectrum.
Yes, yeah,
It's crazy.
completely. It was completely fate driven. So an opportunity came up actually for my husband and his work for us to live in New York for a short period of time.
Wow.
It was a project that he was assigned to, and it was going to be probably a 2 to 5 year time frame.
And you're yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and interesting that you say that, because at the time I was working as an in-house lawyer for one of Australia's largest department stores, and I loved that job. I loved my boss. The role that I was doing was quite senior for my age, really stimulating, stretching, challenging work.
So you loved it.
So I loved that
that's
role.
interesting.
There was definitely times throughout my legal career where I was thinking, there must be more to this. This can't just be it. But in terms of the role that I had before we moved to New York, I really loved it. And it was, while we were never going to say no to the New York opportunity, for me it was a bit of a personal roller coaster. Super, super high because of the excitement of what's to come and what will be waiting for us in New York. But I really went through tears and a lot of emotion.
Because that was your dream job at the time.
It
like
was
that's where
literally
you
my
wanted to
dream job.
go. And you had to leave it just for your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
a challenge.
It was, it's kind of like explaining it. People were like, oh, it's been the best thing ever, and it was.
Yeah.
But at the time, there was a lot of personal up and down processing that decision. What does it mean stepping away from a legal career I'd invested, 10 years of really hard work in? But completely fate-driven, because we moved to New York back in 2012. So we had 2012 and 2013 in New York. When we moved there, we had no idea when we were selecting properties to live in that when we chose living on Greene Street, that 2 years
Funny
later,
how all the little puzzles come together. Like
It's
that's how you came up with
amazing.
this beautiful name.
Yeah, so living on Greene Street 2 years later inspired Greene Street Juice, the brand that we would open up back in Melbourne. No idea that it was on our horizon. No. So, because we were looking at apartments like on Franklin Street, and there was all these other areas. So
I know, Franklin Juice just doesn't really have that ring to it, does it? Yeah.
not as like beautiful and
Yeah.
just perfect that Greene Street is.
So why juices? Like out of anything that you could have done, why did you decide on juice?
Yeah, so this is where kind of the journey it was completely on our path. So we moved to New York. I assumed that I would get a job in a legal field over there, do my time in New York, come back and sort of propel my career back home, having been able to say, oh, I worked in the law in New York.
Yeah.
But when we got to New York, I had to wait for a period of 90 days before my work permit could be authorised. So there's no question about it being authorised. It's just an admin process. You fill in the form, it goes away. They say you have to wait 90 days, and then your work permit shows up. In that time, I actually chose to do my yoga teacher training.
Wow.
Yeah.
In New York. Like where better could you possibly do your yoga teacher training? Yeah.
And it was something that I'd always been interested while I was always sort of hardcore corporate working lawyer. I always kept balanced in that world through my yoga practice.
So you did practice beforehand?
Yeah, it was my thing that kept me grounded.
Yeah.
Brought a bit of balance into my life. And I was always very conscious about the way that I ate and the way that I treated my body. And that's I think that's a lot of mum's influence. I grew up and mum was always reading very widely about natural remedies, and I was the kid that would go to school with like chia seeds and nuts in there. And back then people were kind of like, what is that?
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
And for you it was just normal.
For me it was normal from, from
what
a
a
very
blessing.
young age. Yeah, really blessed. And I just sort of think that even that, way back then, it's all the seeds are starting to plant for whatever your destiny, my destiny was. So I chose to do my yoga teacher training in my downtime. Had no idea that doing that would unlock this new path and lead me down to juicing. So when I did my training, it was at that point where when I finished, my work permit came through, and I thought, okay, so I can either start applying for legal roles, or I can just give teaching yoga a go. And I just thought, I remember really distinctly feeling like, if I just don't give this a go and use this opportunity to explore this, I'll never forgive myself.
Do it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll never do it, but I knew that there would be a regret in me if I just went and started interviewing and took an office job.
What a perfect time when you're over in New York, you've got some time off, you've done your yoga teacher training, and you've got that space there to be able to make that decision. Like, that's your tipping point. Do I go this way or do I go this way?
That was my tipping point for sure.
Yeah.
And the calling in my heart and my intuition, which had been opened up through my yoga teacher training, was too loud to ignore.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you had no idea when you were living here and working as a lawyer that you would even go down that path?
No idea.
Wow.
And then there's kind of two learnings I share with people around that. The first thing is, people say, oh, well, you're lucky because you were given this time off and you were able to explore it. And
you made the decision to go.
Two things that I talk about with being gifted by the universe this space to explore some other things is that the importance of giving yourself some space in what you do. It doesn't have to be a project in New York, but looking at the time that you have and what you're doing, and allowing yourself. It could be allowing yourself a weekend off to really start to think about what is what feeds your soul. I talk about that all the time, or what makes you happy, or what brings joy into your life. Just the importance of having some space to explore that.
Yeah, and your space was going to New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a big way.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, and then the other one of really starting to listen to the calling of the heart, because I feel like as soon as you do that, everything will start to conspire to
make it
and
happen,
facilitate that process. And my journey is exactly that, because when I decided that I wanted to give teaching yoga a go, I started my own small yoga business called Inform Yoga, running around Manhattan with flyers, dropping them into hotel lobbies and saying, if you have guests who want in-house yoga services.
Well, you're really driven.
I'm the girl. Things like that. But I met very quickly a personal trainer who became a really, really good friend of mine in New York, and she was so beautiful in that she would refer her clients to me for anyone who she thought could benefit from yoga. So before I knew it, I had this little business in New York that was never part of the plan.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And that was within weeks then, huh?
That
after your
was
teacher
after
training?
my teacher training, almost instantly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you bring your teacher training in with Juice?
In with Juice. So once I did my yoga teacher training, I started working, with my own little business. I did do the Institute of Integrative Nutrition Health Coach program.
That's what I'm doing.
Which is what you're
Isn't it the best?
doing.
Oh, I love it.
Awesome. Because
Yeah.
of course, once I started to explore and go into these things that were really calling to me, exploring more into nutrition, which was a personal passion of mine, became sort of a priority. So I did the IIN program. And then really importantly in my journey, there was a couple of things. Cold pressed organic juicing in New York was really big at that time. So we had left Melbourne.
And it wasn't big back
2012.
here.
There was actually nothing here at that time. There wasn't the concept of a juice cleanse wasn't really mainstream or didn't really exist. So it wasn't even on my radar until we got to New York, and it was everywhere there. So cold pressed organic juicing became a part of our daily lives in New York. And
you were just making them yourself at home, so you wanted to share that with other people.
Yes, totally. The other really important step in the process is that I went and studied at an institute in San Diego called the Gerson Institute. So the Gerson Institute I had learned of growing up because Mum was always reading about their protocol for healing. So the Gerson Institute, it's got a...
What a beautiful mum.
Yeah, yes, she's amazing. The Institute's based in San Diego, but they have clinics in Mexico where they assist to treat people through cold-pressed organic juicing and a plant-based diet.
Wow.
People who have degenerative, very serious illnesses. And there's hundreds and thousands of success cases of people who were told through mainstream medical services that there's nothing that can be done. They should essentially go home, get their affairs in order, and essentially prepare to die.
They were told that?
Basically.
Well, they were said that there's nothing more we can do.
Nothing more we can do for you. You should enjoy these last days, weeks, months with your family, make sure all your personal affairs are in order, and essentially start prepping to depart this realm, And then these people, having discovered the Gerson Institute, going onto that protocol and healing from very serious illnesses.
And that's just really from Whole Foods?
Yes, yeah.
Whole Foods?
There's quite a prescriptive protocol with the Gerson protocol, but the cornerstone of that is cold-pressed organic juicing, plant-based organic diet, and very natural detoxification principles that really boost the body's ability to detox and heal.
It's like Adam and Eve, everything was created for a reason.
Yes.
If we don't use those medicines, and I believe that food is medicine, what we learned from IIN, and it's even where food comes from, like the soil. Like once we've learnt all this information, it's very hard to unlearn the information.
Oh, big time.
So it's very important we know where our fruit, veggies and meats and things come from these days.
Yes.
It's really important.
Yeah, it's so important to me.
Wow.
It's everything. It's the foundation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did, I went to the Gerson Institute, spent 7 days there learning how to apply the protocol to someone, and we had to have the protocol done on us, but in a modified way because you're not ill.
Yeah.
So it's a modified protocol, but I was on 9 cold pressed fresh organic juices a day, plant-based brekkie, lunch, dinner, 3 coffee enemas a day. Can we talk about coffee enemas?
What is it, like for people who don't know, like in a PG rating, what is an enema?
Okay, we'll be really high level.
PG.
So
PG.
an enema is PG. PJ. So PG rating, an enema, and particularly like the coffee enemas, essentially you have an enema bucket with a solution in it. So the coffee enema is purified water, coffee, and you actually have a tube that you insert in your behind. Is that PG? And it essentially, your body takes in this water, this solution. It circulates through the colon, and then you release it.
So it's just all the built up of toxins in your body, it just releases them. Because
Yes.
I know with me, I used to eat a lot of junk food and party and drink, and there's probably still a lot of toxins that are in my body. So something like that will just release them.
It's a really supercharged way of getting a whole lot of toxins out of the body.
Amazing.
Coffee in particular will, when it gets filtered through the liver, when you have coffee not in your mouth the other way, through your enema, it actually will like dilate, what you could call kind of like the pores of the liver, and the liver starts to dump deep held gunk out.
Amazing.
And then you get rid of that, through your through the bowels, essentially.
What an interesting experience. Like, so
Changed
everything
my
with
life.
Greene Street, it's scientific based. So there's science to back everything that you have here.
Oh my gosh, there is so much to support the principles of healing through detoxification and flooding the body with organic, bioavailable nutrients that literally get absorbed at the cellular level. And allows the body to heal and repair in that way. So 2 principles, detoxification, amping that up, and then healing and repairing through an influx of vitamins and minerals that are really easily absorbed by the body.
And so doctors were telling people that they weren't going to live, and they were literally healed through fruit and vegetables.
A protocol,
incredible.
an observed, supervised protocol for healing, but the basis of that being organic, plant-based medicine.
And so then you bought Greene Street, to Melbourne.
Yeah, so to Melbourne. So I went to Gerson, completely changed my life. I had always envisaged that when we got home, before we went to New York, I envisaged I'd go to New York, I'd get a job in the legal field, come home, it would propel my career, and I'd just slip back into my legal career and continue to climb the ladder. Got to New York, did my yoga teacher training, blew my heart open, opened me up to other ways of living and seeing and being. Totally got obsessed with the cold pressed organic juicing culture in New York. Find myself at the Gerson Institute, having 7 days of this protocol administered on me. Felt incredible. Did a lot of not only physical detoxification but emotional. I felt like I was shifting emotions that were stuck in my body.
And that would also be through yoga as well.
Definitely.
Amazing.
Definitely. And then the vision suddenly becomes, oh my goodness, when I get home, I don't know what it looks like, but I thought that it would be a yoga studio with a juice bar attached, or didn't know quite what it looked like, but I wanted to be able to provide, yoga, but then also really legitimate, genuine healing elixirs.
Wow.
So that's the vision that changed, that's kind of over almost a 2-year period. Then we were quite promptly brought back to Melbourne, and that's really when the vision and everything started just being set into motion. So we were in the States because of Steve's work, and there was some things going on in the industry that he was working in back in Australia, where he got a phone call from his work, 1 a.m. New York Sunday time. 1 a.m. in the morning, his phone rings, it's his boss saying, okay, stuff going down left, right and centre here. We really need to bring you back home so you can help with all of this. And so the instruction was, pack your bag, don't know how long you are going to be home for, so pack what you think that you need and get on the first flight home.
So it wasn't ended. Okay.
Yeah, and so lunchtime Monday, Steve was on a flight back to Melbourne, bags packed. I was in New York, not knowing what's going on, but kind of getting the sense that this New York dream was slowly starting to unravel. Mm-hmm. Devastated because I was just finding...
Because then you were settled again.
You
were settled again. You probably just found your beautiful friends and your tribe and...
everything. And it was like a dream. It was like this little dream, New York dream.
Yeah.
So then, of course, devastated that, the move home was coming. Knew enough though through my yoga principles and the meditation and things that I was doing to know that this has to be happening for a reason.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is now.
Just to trust.
Trust. That was one of my main mantras at the time. Just trust. And also knowing that the whole journey had been fate driven already. So this has to be part of the plan. So we moved home. Really at the right time. We got home in late 2013. There was nothing in Melbourne like what we had experienced in New York, nothing like what I had been taught. Couldn't get a cold-pressed organic elixir here in Melbourne. So it was really at the beginning of kind of that, I don't know, like I guess juicing boom and it was like, for us it was not a decision, it was like we have to bring the cold-pressed organic juicing principles that we learnt there here, even for ourselves. And then that started thinking of like, we have to, it'll be Greene Street Juice because we'll literally bottle and take with us the learnings from New York and bring them to Melbourne and share them with our people here. And we were home late 2013 and we launched Greene Street Juice in March 2014.
Oh, that's amazing. In 1 year, you just went bang.
It was like the space of 3 months. Everything just started coming together.
And how did you find, because we're on High Street in Paran, and so how did you find this space?
And then this space, so when we first launched, we were online only, and we're doing some markets and festivals, and it was awesome. Like Melbourne just greeted us with open arms when we got home. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, there's this cool cold-pressed organic juice company and they're packaged in glass and they've got New York names and they've got mantras on the back. So we'll talk about how yoga and everything came into this whole concept. So we were online only and we live in this area. We live in Paran. We were walking past this space and I said to Steve, that would be a really cool physical home for Greene Street.
Wow.
Just from across the road, literally across the road. And he was like, yeah, that's a really great spot.
And it's on a corner.
It's on a corner. It's all natural light, which is just so important for us as part of your principles of good health, just getting some natural light every day. We looked in the window. We made a phone call, just an innocent inquiry about,
hello,
we've never rented a retail shop, never run a retail business before, made an innocent inquiry, and then again, it just happened so quickly. They were just like, oh, come in, have a look at it, let's talk about leases and this and that, and before
and you were like, whoa, settle down, no, let's go. Yeah.
Before we knew it, we'd signed a lease and we were planning to open our flagship store here in Paran. Just happened, it was just part
I've
of the
heard
journey.
that once you know, and everything else just falls into place.
Yeah, it really, really did. And then this beautiful space, it's only 45 square metres, it's small, it's beautiful though because of all the light that comes in. We won an International Design Award
I'm not surprised.
2015.
It's gorgeous.
And it was, the award was awarded in London. The other people in our category were H&M, Adidas, a flagship store that had been designed in Spain by the Hadid family. There was these massive, big retail giants and super slick. And then we won in that category.
Oh my goodness.
So I always think about this 45 square metres in Paran,
Incredible.
our little patch of Manhattan that's kind of been recognised.
Wow, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is.
Isn't it amazing?
That's incredible.
And there's no
Wow.
way that I would have ever have thought any of that would be part of
So the
journey.
thing that you did was just trust your intuition and just follow your heart. Like you had an idea, you knew it was there, and you literally just had to trust.
It was just too strong a calling or passion. Not to go for it. And a lot of my beautiful friends who are still in the law, I have a lot of friends who are still, lawyers, and they're amazing, they're kicking ass, they're doing amazing things.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, you're so brave to have sort of departed from that career and gone into something that was completely unknown. But it doesn't feel like bravery because it just felt
right.
It didn't even feel like a decision. It was kind of like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, this is who I am now.
One foot in front of the other, completely guided by intuition and fate, and it wasn't even a decision. It just happened. But the pieces along the way, the moving to New York, doing the yoga teacher training, studying at IIN, applying and going to the Gerson Institute, those were the key steps that just...
And so it just kind of popped up for you and you were like, I need to go.
Yeah. And it's that same thing. Like I was teaching yoga at the time. I had learned about this opportunity at the Gerson Institute, went and did it. Like there is so much in my journey with Greene Street. It has instilled my faith in what's meant for you will not pass you by.
Absolutely.
And it's so many examples of that. The business is a big example of that. I'm obsessed with my rescue puppy Harry.
We love Harry.
We
Harry's
love.
a Kelpie.
And
So cute.
He's like a more recent example of this. So he's my first dog. I've wanted a dog my whole life. Always used to write to Santa growing up. Dear Santa, I've been really good this year. Can I please have a dog? My mum's got all these Santa letters. Give me a dog. I want a dog.
I want a dog. I want a dog.
I never stopped talking about how much I want a dog in my life, and for whatever reason, the timing and things just didn't work out. The way that we got Harry, who I'm besotted with, is that our store manager at the time sent me a picture of Harry, the rescue pup, was like, oh, look at this guy, isn't he so cute? Texted it to me, and I looked at it and I was like,
That you're my dog.
This is our dog.
Yeah.
Applied, we had him like 3 days later. And I know it's like off track from a business perspective, but
it's just trusting.
That continual example of at the right time, what's really meant for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even need to go out and hunt it down. Like
it'll come
into
to you.
your line of sight.
And just to trust that that's the right path.
Yeah.
So it's not just juice you have here. Like you love your doTERRA oils as well, and a lot of crystals. Like I've never seen so many beautiful crystals in my entire life. Like, can we just it's just stunning, absolutely stunning.
You.
So how did your path start with doTERRA and with crystals?
So with us, Greene Street has always been about getting the energy right.
Yes.
So even with the juices, they're all organic. We package in glass because it is a natural
And that's huge
substance.
these days. Like
Yeah.
we're all about no plastics.
I know.
And you started this. How many years has Greene Street been here?
2014.
That's a long
March
time to make that
2014.
decision about glass.
Yeah, it was like a non-negotiable for me.
Wow.
For the environment and
Yeah.
for health reasons. So
Yes.
if I'm creating a beautiful organic juice for you, I'm not going to package it in a chemically laden package that will leach into your beautiful organic juice.
But people don't know that that's what plastic does.
They don't.
Like my husband might go to a petrol station and get a plastic bottle, and I'm just not very happy. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of education still around why glass, not plastic. So energy's been number one for us from the whole time. So organic, glass, all high vibration. Also infusing yoga and principles of energy into the way that we create. So we create based on certain colours or vibrations of fruit and vegetables. And then everything has a mantra. All the bottles have a mantra
That's
on
so
them.
beautiful. Let's read
Which
this one.
which energetically aligns. So this one is I am in perfect harmony and balance. It's a green juice with which resonates with heart energy. That's the colour of the heart. And so all of the mantras have been created by me to fit with the right vibration.
Oh, that's so gorgeous,
the
Nat.
So it's all
So
vibration.
there's a lot of love put into these. It's not just juice.
A lot of love, a lot of energy. And then the natural flow-on effect from that, when we look at a holistic way that we treat ourselves, is through my Greene Street process, we do use some doTERRA essential oils in some of our products.
Amazing.
And I love the doTERRA essential oils for their purity,
Yes.
their potency. I haven't found anything else available like it. And their social causes. So they have a number of initiatives in their business where they help and support the communities from which they source their ingredients from. So essential oils and something that's pure and potent like a doTERRA just adds another level of energetic vibration that continues to lift.
That's amazing.
And the crystals are the same. Crystals are super healing, energetic principles that again you have in your environment or that you have on you that continues to amplify the effect of what we're doing when we consume internally. So it's internal and external, high vibes.
There is a lot of love put into this bottle. Like, it's not just juices.
Yeah, we love to say like not all juices are created equally.
No. So what are 3 things that people can do at home just for their health?
I love talking about everyday detox principles and how you don't even need to pay to do some things every single day that's going to help reduce the toxic load in the body naturally. Yeah. So we were born with this super machine called the human body and it has some really beautiful inbuilt technology and intelligence that helps it run really effectively, and we can help it do that. So I normally have 5 top everyday detox tips, but I'll go through 3. The first
you can do 5.
The first one is breathing deeply and being conscious of your lungs as being one of your detox mechanisms.
Yes.
So most of us are breathing really in our chest because we're all in fight or flight and we're really hyper stimulated and stressed. So being aware of your breath and the power of your breath and taking the time
so
to breathe
important.
deeply.
Yeah.
Super important for your central nervous system, which is going to take you out of fight or flight and put your body into a more relaxation, rest and digest mode, we like to call that. But it's also really important for detoxification. So when you're taking the full capacity of your lungs to breathe in and breathe out, you're fully expelling the full capacity of those lungs and you're taking in fresh air to its full capacity.
Yeah, wow.
So it's a detox mechanism for you. And being aware that about 5% of everything that we breathe in goes straight into our bloodstream. So be aware of your surroundings, indoor plants, essential oils to
they purify the air.
Purify the air is a really simple thing that you can do at home, and open your windows at home
as often as possible.
Even in winter, if you can, open them up even if it's for 20 minutes, because a lot of our homes are more toxic than the external environment because we trap the home cleaning products that we use, deodorants, all those kind of things, aerosols gets trapped inside. So you want to be opening up the windows and letting fresh air in. So that's one.
Amazing.
Second tip is water, hydration.
Oh my goodness, yes. I find even with my skin, if I drink 3 to 4 litres of water a day, my skin is so good. If I don't, my skin's the first trigger point for me where I'm just like, no.
It's amazing how powerful, simple act of drinking enough clean filtered water is for your body.
And filtered water
is really important.
So not plastic bottles that we buy from supermarkets.
Yes.
Filtered water. So we all need a filtered tap at home.
Yes. I have a reverse osmosis filter tap at home. If you can't install a tap, there are some great jug filters at health food shops for around $30 to $50 that you can put in your fridge. You fill it from the tap. But there's ones that are so great, they remove about 0.9% of contaminants. You want a filter that's going to remove fluoride. A lot of them will remove like chloride and other things, but most of them won't go that step of getting the fluoride out, but that's what you really want to get out. But a lot of good health food shops have awesome filter jugs.
And how much water per day?
Yes, I love that you asked this question because it's important to know what's right for you.
Yes.
Science says 1 litre of water per 22 kilos of body weight.
Wow.
So if you can work that out for yourself and make that your daily aim, a little hack that I like to share around getting your water in is get some beautiful glass bottles, like maybe 500 ml bottles. Fill them the night before with your daily water target. So have enough water bottles that you can fill, and then each day you can visually see how far through your water you've got.
Amazing.
So you can take a water bottle with you in your car, keep one in your bag, and then at the end of the day, tally up whether you've got through all your water.
Yeah,
So you
and
know
have
where you're
more
at.
if you haven't gone through them all.
Oh, have it, scull it in there. So many of our our whole metabolic system needs hydration to work. And what happens is, if there is a deficiency in hydration, and most of us are actually dehydrated, the body is actually going to favour and preference where to put its water. So it's going to send it to the essential processes that need to happen, because our body doesn't create water, we need to put it in. So it's going to send it to the essential organs that are doing things like filtering toxins out of the body, helping flush them out. And what's going to miss out on hydration is your skin.
Absolutely. I felt a bit sick the other day and I was exhausted. It was on Friday. I had Axel, my son, my 4-year-old, all day, and I just had no energy. I literally, that day, I just kind of crashed a little bit. The next day, I think I drank 6 litres of water and I barely went to the toilet, and I was like, wow, I was really dehydrated and I had no energy because I was dehydrated.
Yeah, it's a really good point. If you are feeling fatigued or a bit foggy brain,
just drink water.
Check your hydration.
And it's so simple. So simple.
Totally.
Whatever happened to these 8 glasses a day, it's not enough.
Yeah. And it's super simple. Like you said, you don't have to buy fancy equipment or the latest high-tech machine. It's
just drink
H2O.
Water. Filtered water.
Filtered water. It's really important that it's filtered, because if you're going to up the level of water going in, you want it to be clean. You don't want your body doing more work to get through the more gunk you're putting in. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't know, but our tap water is full of heavy metals, full bleaches, chemicals to keep it, clean.
My dad argues this point. He says that Australian water is one of the best that we've got in the world. And my point is, absolutely, that's great, but it's still not good enough.
It's still got heavy metals in it, it's still got industrial chemicals in it, it's still got deposits of minerals in it that we can't see, that over time get trapped in our body.
So what's your next point?
We've got the breathing and the air, we've got the water, and then movement. So even if it's just taking 5 minutes during your lunch break, when I was working in the law, I would be one of those people who thought that it was impossible to leave my desk, and there would be days I'd get in at 8. Other than to use the bathroom, I wouldn't leave my desk, and I could work till 8,
I've been guilty of that
10 p.m. in the evening.
You just think that we can't because we need to get our work done, when in actual fact, if we go have a little break, go for a walk, even if it's around the office, you just feel so much better for it.
Movement's super important. So unlike our the blood that's pumped by the heart through the circulatory system or through the body, our lymph system, which is helping our body get a lot of gunk out, doesn't have a pump. And the only way that the lymph can move more easily through the body and then out is through movement, and through things like, you can do things like dry body brushing or massaging, but at its fundamental way that it gets pumped around the body and out is through movement. So if we're sitting all day and we're not moving, we're getting a lot of stagnant, built-up sludge in our body.
And it's the same thing when you're on a plane. I get up and I go do yoga moves at the back of the
So
plane,
fun,
and
isn't it?
everyone looks at me and laughs, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't want my body to feel lethargic when I arrive somewhere. If I'm going, especially to a tropical destination, I don't want to get sick.
I'm the same. And I'm the kind of crazy person that when I get on the plane, I'm like, where on this plane would I be able to do a handstand?
That's the best. Please take a photo of that. That's awesome.
In the bathroom before, lock the bathroom, get myself handstand up, get everything moving.
That's the best.
It's so funny. It's really funny. You get, you start to have a bit of fun with stuff like that when you get,
Yes.
when you start to,
Well, you know what it is? It's when you just stop caring what other people think and realising that your health is so much more important.
Yeah, you just have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah. Or you can go dancing around your house or just any sort of movement.
Dance breaks are the best fun ever. So if you're working from home or somewhere where you're comfortable and you've been sitting and you realise you've been sitting a long time, putting on your favourite tune and just getting up and having a dance break, a 5-minute dance break. It's awesome.
John has this gorgeous thing on Tuesdays where she encourages everyone to just get up and dance.
Oh,
just
really?
dance. Every Tuesday is about getting up and dancing.
That's awesome.
It is. It's, stop caring what other people think and just get up, have some fun, and then it makes you laugh again.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, Nat, you are so beautiful, and this place is gorgeous. Like, I've just always loved Greene Street Juice. And you are just honestly the most beautiful soul in this world. You're just so happy and you're always smiling and you're just such beautiful energy to be around. So I just want to thank you. Thank you for having us in your beautiful home with your crystals and teaching me about doTERRA oils. You've been so brilliant with helping me and especially with my crystals at the moment too. So
it's been so fun.
Thank you so much for giving us the time to come down here today.
My
just
pleasure.
love you. Just lovely.
I love you.
And if you do want to see more interviews like this, just subscribe so we can bring you more and more and more.
Yay.
So thank you, Nat. I love you so much.
Thank you.